What's up, everybody? Welcome. We are Pokemon Masters
32?
No, 34. It's on the screen.
Oh, 34.
It's on the screen. Yeah, look at that. Look at that fancy stuff that he's talking about. He's talking about Warhammer. He's very in depth, and he was very into what he was doing.
Trying to consolidate my thoughts for the host hobbies. There's so much. This is like the busiest month of the year.
I made this whole background while he was on his phone, literally right next to me, working on what he's gonna take to his next competition. So I guess.
So before we jump into that, what's the main topic today? Episode 34 of the podcast. I'm your host, Gym Leader Justin. This is my co-host Zero. So what are we talking about?
So today we're gonna be talking about how you should start prepping for Gen 9 competitively. It is very early. So there are things we don't know yet.
Yep.
And we'll dig into those and how we can kind of get around those.
And part of our Gen 9 stuff will also be in the news.
Yes. So a lot of Gen 9 talk today. So, but Justin, you were so enamored by putting together your list for the competition.
Well, there's so much. As soon as I start describing it to you, you realize oh wow, there's a billion moving parts.
Yeah.
To just everything. It's very similar to Pokemon in that way of because in Pokemon obviously we have typings and stats and which format you're bringing and then which tier and the meta of who's in the roster in that game or whatever. There's a lot of moving parts there too. But basically the short of it is October's a really busy month. Got a tournament this weekend, so when you guys are listening to this, it'll be Friday. So tomorrow, if you're listening to the podcast on Friday, this Saturday, October 8th, we've got a local tournament. Then next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is a painting competition for our local Grand Rapids hobby store. Shout out to Far Harbor Gaming if you're in the area. That's where everything be happening for our Grand Rapids greater area of gaming, basically.
And this painting competition,
yeah,
you got an invite, straight up. They were just yo, hey,
yeah. So I'm gonna be one of the 3 judges for the painting competition.
Okay. So
just a couple of years that I've been in the hobby, it got recognized as my stuff looks pretty decent. So they at least understand that I conceptually can look at something and
they trust your opinion.
Yeah. They trust my opinion. So it was really a real big honor.
Yeah, that's
really happy.
That's sick, man.
So it's one of the I'm one of 3. So that way there's no crossover between voting, and you obviously won't vote for your own stuff types.
Why not?
Just cause
okay, fine.
I don't want to live with an asterisk as per usual. But so super fun. So I've been working on my tournament list. That's what I was just talking to Zero about. So basically, we play 2,000 points, and you could have elves, and I could have dwarves, and what costs 150 points in your army might cost me 120 because of reasons. You know what I mean? For your 10-man unit versus my 10-man unit. So the points are different between factions and races and whatever. Obviously in Death you can run a crap ton of skeletons and zombies for super cheap. So you put hundreds of models on the board if you want to. And you got to shoot through straight up Walking Dead stuff. Super fun, by the way. Especially with my list, because I've got a giant gunboat that just blows him up.
Yeah,
I'm just rolling buckets of dice at him, and he's just lifting up
you're
models.
just cruising, and skeletons are flying around.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I've been just talking, working out my list. I've got about 1745 out of 2,000, so I'm just trying to figure out what to do with that last. I've got 255 points to go, so just trying to figure out how to round out my list of what options I can or want to take.
This is the make or break of your team here. Is this extra?
I've got the core. So basically,
but this is your flex pick.
Yeah. This is the flex picks. This is where you get saucy. This is the PMC.
You got
picks.
your Arcanine, Sceptile, and
Blastoise
core,
exactly.
and now you need to round that out.
So for layman's terms, I'm going to be taking dwarves, obviously. That's what I play. I'm going to be taking the Sky Dwarves, so the Chaos-Drawn Overlords for people that are into the hobby, KO. And I'm going to be having the largest of the 3 big giant airships. So big giant battleship. Mine's built like a helicopter helicarrier. like old steampunk helicarrier based off of like from Avengers. So imagine that, but with all the guns.
Okay. Yeah.
Just fire everything.
Yeah.
And then I roll dice and things die. It's a lot of shooting, and it's a giant gunboat. And I can also carry dwarves around. So I can put up to like 16 dwarves in there, and you just put them off table and just say they're in the boat.
Yeah.
And then they get out over here, so it's a transport. My dwarves are normally slow, so now I can just fly around in the boat.
Yeah. They got those stubby little legs.
I've got a special earthbender priest, so a dwarf priest that magically moves rock, so he can tunnel. So you set him up off the side of the board and say that he's underground, and you could bring one other of these. They're from the fire dwarf faction.
Yeah.
So you take one other fire dwarf unit and put them underground with them too. So I got 10 of these, just the biggest muscly berserkers with giant two-handed axes. They do 3 damage per swing. They roll a crap ton of dice. They're super tanky and they're super offensive. And because, again, dwarves are slow, so now my dudes are just off the table. So at the beginning of the game, there's barely anything on the table. But then as the game goes, I'm like, oh, I need that flag over there. Because, again, we're playing Capture the Flag.
Yeah.
I just... Oh, you moved a toe out of range of that flag, which means now it's open. I can just pop that dude up from underground with his 10 buddies, and they're ready to go with their giant weapons. You know what I mean?
Kind of broken.
Yeah, and then they're in the boat. The boat's teleporting around, and then I got 2 dragons, steampunk like mech dragons.
Classic, like Fire Emblem. You gotta have your Wyvern Riders.
Gotta have the Wyvern Riders, exactly. So
Yeah.
they're gonna be flying around, shooting fire out of their steampunk cannons, and the dude on top rolls a crap ton of dice. They're really, 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 really tanky. They're incredibly durable. So that's what I need, is because normally, like if they catch my boat, they could just slap. Like the boat's tanky, but like if they put enough into it, you could just die.
Right.
And if they kill the boat, it's like 500 points of my army out of 2,000.
I mean, it's safe to assume you lose all of the army that's inside it as well, right?
You roll a dice to see if they live or not. They
okay.
have parachutes.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that.
It's dice dependent whether or not they live or die, but it's also you have to set up Warhammer, obviously, models on when we measure with inches.
Yeah.
So like there's a proximity. So like I can't be within 3 inches of you unless you're like charging into combat. But
Right.
if I'm just walking, I can't just walk within 3 inches of you, because like if it's war, right? So you're not supposed.
Yeah. You don't just walk by.
You can't just be like chilling, hi.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no. If you get close, like you got to fight. So and that's a dice roll
Yeah. Okay.
to see if you charge in and make the charge to get within 3.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
So like getting out of the boat, if you surround my boat and there's no room proximity, then my dudes just die because I can't legally put them anywhere because there's. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're getting sniped out of the air before.
So
you
I
make it
need to
down.
have a big tank unit. So last time I took the Goku, the Super Saiyan
Yeah.
Gotrek. This time I'm taking 2 dragons.
Okay.
So they fly also, which then can be really good mobility. Gotrek was super fun, super useful, but he only moves 4 inches and he walks.
Okay.
Whereas these dragons move like 14 inches and fly, so they
Yeah.
get over terrain and stuff like. Because again,
Yeah.
it's a tactile game, so really excited. And then the paint competition, been working on that. I've already been showing you some photos.
Oh yeah.
The dude, I've got all my base coats down, just sort of doing a value sketch, and now for the next 2 weeks, it's just tiny futzing.
Just the finishing touches, those little
All
kisses.
the tweak. 2 weeks of tweaking.
Yeah. Oof.
Not like that, but.
Yeah.
So what's been going on in the disc world, buddy? How you been?
I've been good. So my season's wrapping up. My final tournament is also, well, your final tournament's not this Saturday. Mine is.
Your final tournament of the 2022 season.
Yeah, is Saturday.
So we both have a tournament tomorrow, basically, from when
Yes.
you're listening to this podcast.
Not much to say about it. It's the tournament that I finish my year on every single year when I play competitively, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gunning for the win. I'm going to be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, let's go!
Because because disc golf, you are bracketed by skill. And in the amateur division, if
you're saying like there's like a digital platform that logs all of your stats
Yep,
and
exactly, and it does it for you. So I play
That's
these.
so cool.
I play these second highest level of amateur.
Let's go.
If I have a good tournament, I'm going to be kicked out of that. I will be forced to play the top tier of amateur.
You're up in ultra tier now.
Yeah, so it's going to be harder and harder to win. So, like, this is my window right here to get that win. So, you know.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, and then so I'll be shooting for the win there, and then over the weekend.
And again, you are a sponsored disc golfer.
Exactly, yeah. And last weekend, I don't even talk to you. By Disc Baron.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was trying to set you up.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Yes, go to Disc Baron for all your disc golf needs. Use the code 71353. Get yourself a little discount.
That's that PMC discount. Say it again for the folks in the back. What's the discount number? The PMC discount at Disc Baron.
71353. That's my
71353. Let's go.
So, speaking of that, so over the weekend, we didn't even talk about this. Over the weekend, you messaged me and you're like, "You want a game?" And I was like, "No, I'm in Mount Pleasant for my team Disc Baron thing."
Yeah. How'd that go? So yeah, you went up to
fun.
Mount Pleasant. So for people that aren't aware, Michigan, Mount Pleasant's beautiful.
It's like right in the middle of
They
everything.
can't see.
Well, I was showing you, but
Yeah.
It's in the middle of everything.
Yeah, right about there, right in that middle knuckle.
So,
and it's gorgeous part of the state.
Yeah.
Most of our state's gorgeous.
Colors are just starting to change.
Yeah. So what was going on up there?
It was just a fun. Everyone who's a part of Team Disc Baron.
Yep.
Every sponsored disc golfer was invited to Mount Pleasant, and we played a fun doubles thing. There were prizes. He paid out the first place team. We missed first place by 2 strokes because we took an 8 on a hole.
Ooh.
Everything out there is a par 3.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't know.
So it should have been 9? Is that what you're saying?
No, basically we took a quintuple bogey. We went 5 shots over.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You can tell, like, I'm the noob here. He's explaining to me that
it's extremely bad. It's the dreaded snowman.
You did terrible.
It was just that one hole.
God.
Just how everything else was great except the one hole. Because the way it worked was, on the even holes, we played best shot doubles. So we both throw, and whoever has the better drive, or we get to choose what our next shot is. So we park the hole. We're putting for birdie.
Yep.
The odd holes were worse shot doubles. So you could park the hole, and your partner could hit the first available tree. You have to play the one that hit the first available tree. And it happened to me hole 11 where we took the snowman.
Okay.
I'm going to take responsibility because my partner laced the drive. It was amazing. It was a really, really hard tee shot. My partner set us up beautifully, and I hit the first available tree, leading to the subsequent snowman.
No!
I'm sorry, Jordan. It was my fault. Yeah, it was good. There were hole prizes.
It was nice weather.
We got long putts.
September's beautiful. Michigan this time of year, mint. It's so perfect.
We got there were there were prizes on I think 12 of the holes. There's prizes for long putts and CTPs. CTPs closest to the pin. So if you get the closest drive out of everyone on the day on a hole,
but just on your initial drive though. Obviously.
Just on your drive. So if you go from tee to basket,
and obviously hole in one, you win
it automatically.
Yeah.
You win the long putt that way too.
Oh, so you win everything. You're just like scooping everything from the middle of the poker table.
Yeah. So if you want a long putt or a CTP, he gave out so much stuff. Like it was like a small stack of discs and
I was gonna say, was it like prize money or actual prizes?
Just prizes. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's what Warhammer does too. Yep. It's like you get a lot of models or paints or brushes and. Always models, but usually other crap too.
Yeah, so we didn't win first place, obviously, but I won 3 of the 10 to 12 hole prizes.
Nice.
They called me up there 3 times, and I won so much plastic.
You're just walking away with a grocery bag.
Yeah, I had so much stuff. I had to give it away to some of my teammates. Like I gave something to my partner. I was like, I gave him one of the, we got towels to wipe your disc, and I was like, a Disc Baron towel. I gave it to him. I gave his dad a disc. I gave the other guy we were playing with. I was just like,
everyone gets prizes.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need all of this, guys. So yeah, it was a really good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's it, man. It's been a really good season.
All right, buddy. Well, let's jump into the news. Let's talk about some pokes. There's kind of a lot to talk about.
So the first part of the news is we've been
so much stuff.
We've been as far as PMC goes, we've been playing a little bit of Sword and Shield, trying to get some more battle content out there.
It's been a lot of fun.
In the last 2 weeks, if you haven't seen them, we put out some really hype battle videos. 3v3 singles.
Two of my favorite pokes.
Yeah. Battle Stadium.
Unite's not going to give me anything, so singles will.
Yeah, so we did a Rayquaza video.
Oh, my God.
It was awesome.
He's so good in the Dynamax format.
Awesome. Yeah.
Dragon Ascent. It's a flying close combat. It's literally close combat. Everything about close combat except it's flying type.
Yep.
So that is just...
He's actually good.
It's so good!
All he needs is more speed.
Yeah.
He would be awesome.
You get one airstream, and he's supposed to be fast. Why doesn't he have like a base like 110?
At 110, yeah. At least.
110, 120.
He doesn't need the defenses.
No.
Take from his defenses or his HP and give him some speed. Like, that's literally all he needs to be
S-tier.
Amazing because his coverage is good. And you'll see it on the
physical and special. We did physical,
yeah.
But it was so much fun.
Yeah.
He's my favorite legendary. He popped off. Go check it out. Will be a link in the description. We put it out like last week on our YouTube channel.
Yes. And then the other one we did was Zarude.
Also, so again, 3v3 singles.
Yep, Battle Stadium singles.
These are your designs. These teams are your design.
Yep.
These are homemade, homebrewed, zeros in the lab.
Yep. Oh, there's rental codes too.
Yep, rental codes for these. The Zarude team is amazing. It's got not one but two nice juicy lures, nice two little bait and switch pokes to lure people in, and the people that it lures in, Zarude like hard checks, if not just straight up counters.
Yeah.
So he just sets them up and just pow, pow, pow. He really... It really popped off, blew my mind. We had one of the funniest things ever in Pokemon history happen.
It was, that vid was funny, and it was hype, and...
very impressive.
Yeah.
Like, jokes aside, Zarude really did put in work, especially, like... I don't want to give it away, but, like, with the addition of screens there in Dynamax, like, you can really utilize some of these tools, and he just... does the work.
Because I test all these teams out, and the first iteration did not have any screens, and I wasn't loving the results.
It made a big difference.
Put screens on. I have not lost since I put the screens.
Yeah, undefeated.
On that team.
Undefeated this iteration.
Yeah, go check those out because we are hoping to do some more of those. We want to show off mythicals because, this is the only time we're going to be able to use them for the foreseeable future.
So we want to just use it just for fun. Good way to close out Gen 8 while we're going into Gen 9.
Right.
So
yeah. We'll link those below.
So we got some Unite news now. Because there's been kind of a lot popping off in this world, too.
Yeah.
You want to start with the positive or the negative? We want to start with the negative, then we'll finish on the positive?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, not only a top 10, a top 3 favorite. This is like gold S-tier level favorites for you, is Scizor. Scizor got released, and it's a dual split evolution of Scyther or Scizor. You can finish the game fully as Scyther if you choose. And they have different stats, different niches, different roles. And spoiler alert,
Scizor sucks.
Scyther's really good, and Scizor sucks. It's so bad. Like, legitimately, Scizor might be the single worst character in the game. He's not tanky. He doesn't do damage. He's slow. He's got slow attack speed. He's cooldown dependent.
The kit's fun.
The kit is great. The bones are great. The foundation of the house is structurally sound. I don't think he needs rework. I think they just need to turn up the volume.
I think so too. And
like he should be bulkier. He's got 100 base defense and then 100 base defense, 80 base special defense in regular stat Pokemon, and 130 base attack. He should be hitting strong. I understand that they want to. Here's the problem. Because Scyther exists and they want this dual split evolution, which we should say, like, that's great. That's a super cool idea.
Amazing idea, and I love how they executed it.
Give us Glalie and Frostlass next.
Yes. Yeah, do it.
Or Clamperl with Huntail and Gorobus.
Yes. Shout out to Spork Ninja.
Let's go.
Spork Ninja was calling
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. So, I think it's great. Scyther feels great. He feels like a speedster. He feels like an assassin. Like he's supposed to. He's fast, dash, 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 dash. He's squishy, but he'll kill you.
Yeah.
He'll mess some people up. He's got the damage. He can't... If you put the time in, Scyther can be an absolute premier carry, like assassin carry.
Yep.
Scizor is supposed to be like the bruiser. What does that mean to you? Somebody who's not over a decade of mobile experience.
Someone who, at the very least, can take a hit. First and foremost, they have to be able to take a hit.
And technically, yes, Scizor can. And technically, yes, he is bulkier than Scyther. It is true. But it's not enough. It's not by much.
No.
My number one Scizor build has been utilizing the Focus Band. Focus Band, Buddy Barrier, and Muscle Band is what I've been running on my Scizor. And I've been doing Bullet Punch and Double Hit. Now, I have to say, I love the kit.
Yeah.
It's so much fun in terms of, like, there's so much mobility. I can get around the map pretty quick, just dash, dash, dash. Yes, it's cooldown dependent, but it's not that bad. Like, you have 2 dashes from your double hit. If you hit anything with the first hit, your second one is an auto attack proc that you'll, like, dash forward and Superman punch. That second hit of it needs more damage.
Mm-hmm.
The bullet punch is obviously the other one you have to have. It's either do a wing beat or bullet punch. That's how you evolve.
It's a great move, too.
Great move.
Great lifesteal.
So basically, you jump into a big AoE circle. It's not a long jump, but the AoE circle is decent.
Yeah.
You jump into AoE circle, and everything hit by it, he just sends out a bunch of flurries of punches. Then, for the next, I don't remember the detail, but a good amount of seconds, so much so that with just a moderate amount of cooldown reduction in your page, your emblem page, you basically are always glowing fists. So you'll have like silver glowing claws, and your auto attacks do more damage. The bullet punch has lifesteal. Your boosted auto has lifesteal. It's 2 hits instead of 1.
Yep.
And
Increases
it increases your defense. So your armor stacking. So like these are great tools, but his base stats aren't good. His HP, his defense, and his special defense need to go up.
Yeah.
They all need to go up. In my opinion, I like that he's a little bit slower of an attacker, so I would just say more attack damage.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if he's going to be slower.
Yeah, or you could just give him more attack speed at the current damage.
Yeah.
Either one of those would... Because, like, if he's just going to be auto attack champion, the first hit of Bullet Punch, when he jumps in and does the flurry of punches, like, the Silver Claws, those are legit.
Yep.
The glowing Silver Claw passive effect, it's good damage. It's legit. I like where it's at. I don't think it's... If you buff it, I'm happy, but I don't think you need to.
All right.
I think it's fine where it's at. But the initial hit of Bullet Punch needs to be bursty. If I jump in with that tiny little dash and put my body into the fight, I should be rewarded for it. The burst on Bullet Punch needs to be significant.
Yeah.
And then the first hit of double hit, I like the damage that it does. I like how it jumps and does like the back. I like how a double hit works. But it's that second hit where you Superman punch to the target.
Yeah.
Which you can then like jump through the Mamoswine.
Yep.
And then Superman punch to the Delphox. Really good tricks here. That's what I'm saying. That it has foundation.
Yeah, it reminds me of Blaze Kick on Cinderace.
It just doesn't do the damage.
Right.
But if it did, so that second hit a double hit, that's where you need to have burst. So you can double hit them, and then when you're in there, they try to flash away, and then you chase them with your bullet punch, da 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 da, and then your boosted auto. By that time, your double hit will be back up, and you just chase them down and kill them in like 2 seconds. It's not an assassin burst. It's still grindy, because that's the problem, is trying to differentiate. Because if you just up his damage too much, everyone will just play Scizor because he's better than Scyther.
Right.
On paper. Like, the kit is better than Scyther's kit. Because he's got armor stacking. So if he just does a bunch of damage, he'll just become... Because, like, in a prolonged fight, I do notice the armor stacking. But you'll need 3 or 4 of those boosted autos, which...
Yeah, prolonging the fight is the big problem.
Do the math. And you have to really utilize going in and out of the fight, which I kind of like. But I think he has to do it too much for how... Because he's so squishy.
Right.
But, go check out our video on it. We have a huge deep dive.
More in-depth thoughts. Yeah. More
gameplay
crying,
footage.
More sadness. If you're into all that, check out the vid. We'll link it.
The good news is he just needs some numbers.
Yeah,
it doesn't need a rework.
So too. I think so too.
So let's go to the other side of the pond. Let's talk about the good news. Sableye, Zoroark, and Clefable were announced officially. We already talked about Clefable a little bit on last podcast, but now we got like some details. We saw all their moves. Links will be in the description to all of our stuff on the channel for all these characters. You're super excited for Zoroark.
Yeah.
Wasn't, but now I am beyond excited for Sableye once I see what the kit can do, because it's mind-blowing cool.
Much movement.
So much movement.
Yep.
So much.
What do you think? I feel like Illusion... I don't know if Illusion's going to be any good. What do you think?
So, wanted to tell people what that is?
Yeah, so Illusion is his ability
Who's?
Oh, Zoroark.
Yep.
Pardon me.
You're good.
So that's his Sableye's ability is crazy. We'll get into that. Zoroark has Illusion, so you activate Illusion, and it turns you into an opposing Pokemon. Just looks-wise. You still have all of your moves and all that stuff. But when you
basically, if you click a button. If you click a button that's not just moving around.
Yep, auto attack,
use
a move, score, you'll turn back into Zoroark. So,
but it's good for positioning because, like, if somebody's not paying attention and they just see, like, oh, well, there's my Espeon behind me. Cool, I can go. And they take that 1 second where they just don't really register that it could be you. Mm-hmm. That's that 1 second you need to get in and pa. And Zoroark looks super good. It's beta server. So like we talked about with Scyther and Scizor. And in the beta, Scyther was the one that was like, And Scizor was like, oh my god, 2 thumbs up, let's go. So it looks like it was just an overcorrection.
I think so too.
From the beta server. So Zoroark and Sableye and Clef all look insane for different reasons. Zoroark is a speedster. He looks like a really good assassin. Lots of dashes, lots of mobility. Really, really just fun, awesome gameplay.
Yeah,
he looks cool. Sableye, Clefable is like a super broken support. She's got 6 different ultimates.
She'll 100% get nerfed. Yeah, whatever footage you see,
it's not going to be live.
It won't be the same. It's insane. It's insane the whole time.
She's way too tanky. She does way too much damage.
And heals too much.
But again, it's beta server, so they're just working out the kinks. But her ultimate is Metronome, and she's got 6 different ultimates. Basically, they took 6 different ultimates from different characters in the game, and they gave it to her. But they're not all ultimates. So, like, one of them is Snorlax Block.
Yeah, which that's...
not an ultimate. But another one is Duraludon ulti.
Okay, so that one's good. But just when you get into
point
that
being,
position,
it's super RNG.
Yeah, don't ever rely on your ultimate for anything but like a shield if you go Buddy Bear here.
Yep.
But yeah, Clefable looks really fun.
Gravity looks great.
Gravity's crazy because
no dashes.
Boost, yeah. So
if we get Ninetales plus Clefable,
oh my god,
Aurora Veil plus Gravity, like you're trapped now. Freeze.
Yes, and Clefable gets a boosted auto and Gravity. So like, Gravity. Could you imagine if we stack a Gravity and a Veil?
Reiterate. So every auto attack is a boosted auto.
She just jumps
up
and
bombs.
Down. Yeah,
like that kid on the trampoline.
Yes, it's chunky damage.
It's big right now.
Go look up footage.
Moonlight heals, Draining Kiss heals.
Yeah, go look up footage. We have a video recorded. We're probably going to put out at some point. But whether you watch our video or whatever, take note of the damage. Don't get excited for it. It won't be. There's no way.
Live,
there's no way.
So, and then last but not least is Sableye. So this is another supporter, and I'm hyped because it's Hoenn. I'm always hyped because it's Hoenn. And I like Sableye. I've used him a lot. He's one of my favorite competitive picks.
Yep.
But he's not like Sceptile or Infernape or Meganium or Arcanine or whatever, Rillaboom. He's not like one of these like top 10 like super faves.
Yeah.
And then I saw the kit.
And then he saw the kit. Yeah. Wow.
I am so hyped. So link in the description to our Sableye video and Zoroark and Clef. Probably going to be out by the time this podcast is out. But if it's not, then we'll go back.
Then look out for it next week or whatever.
Then it'll be out.
Yeah.
Because Sableye is cracked.
Crazy. Good. It's so fun.
So let's start real quick. Let's fire off from the hip. So what's my favorite League of Legends character?
Teemo.
What does Teemo do?
He plants mushroom landmines.
He plants landmines. And what do those landmines do?
They explode. They're invisible. But then
they explode and do AoE damage.
Dot damage, right?
And apply dot damage. Yep. So it's the burst, then it's the dot, and they slow.
Yes.
And it's AoE.
Yeah.
You take that. Yes, they're invisible landmines, but so we're not going to take invisible landmines, but we have this next best thing. Fake money.
Fake money.
Fake monies. Take the monies.
Yes.
So it does not take from your own Eos energy pool, which I think is something that could potentially balance it.
Yeah.
Where you throw your own money out.
Yeah.
But basically, it's called feint attack. It's a fake. It's a facade. And it's so good! So he'll throw out Eos energy. And if you're on my team, you'll see Eos energy on the floor right next to Eos energy that has a purple glowing ring around it. It'll be like glowing with like a purple aura. Mm-hmm. So the regular, you can tell the difference between the ones that I threw and the regular money on the ground. But enemies, they just see 2 gold balls. They don't see any difference. So what it is, it's a trap. They go to pick up the gold. Pow, 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 pow. Oh, it was a feint attack.
It blows up in their face.
Blows up in their face. AoE. Applies a poison, a dot damage over time. And slows.
It's Teemo Mines.
Literally Teemo Mines. Fake money. So, and then, shout out to Sport Ninja. One of Doug's favorite characters is Evelyn. She's this shadow mist assassin. Think kind of Catwoman.
Yeah.
Cat burglar kind of thing. She turns invisible. Just passive. That's her passive ability. Like Overgrow or something like that. They call them just passives over there. And she just turns to stealth. She's just invisible. And she can go anywhere on the map. As long as she's not in combat. Or if there's nobody enemy within proximity of her.
Yeah.
So if you get too close, it'll, oh, I see you.
Yep. I see you.
It's literally what Sableye's passive is.
So they're just ripping off
so I get to run around invisible. He's melee. And he's not super tanky.
No.
Because he's a supporter class. But I'm decently fast. He's a quick little bugger. I'm fully invisible. I'm throwing out fake money. Early game, he's got Thief, which can steal money. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So really good against anti-stacking. So like if somebody with like 5 is running to your goal, you just hit him with Thief. You steals 5 gold exactly. So you steal the 5 from him.
When you're stacking, you almost...
Yeah, how many times is it 5
1
or under?
Or 2, yeah, exactly.
So you steal that from them, and they can't do it.
Yep.
Yes, it goes on cooldown, but then they have to go farm something to get more gold.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a really good tool there. Jungling obviously will be good because of the invisibility. That's just the regular kit, Zero. Mm-hmm. Fully invisible, fake money. He's got Confusion, which is a point-click, throw out stun with a bird chirping around him. It's great. Knockoff is great. And then he's got Shadow Sneak, which gives him move speed buff and puts him into invisibility. So he can just get out of there.
Yeah.
So good. We haven't talked about his ultimate yet.
Talk about his ultimate. Tell me everything. Well, I mean, I already know, but it's pretty awesome.
It's kind of crazy.
Tell everyone.
And I don't really know how to I haven't emotionally unpacked all this yet because we have to see when it comes out live, because in beta, this is insane.
Yeah.
So he basically, like, in Eevee, he jumps up and becomes invulnerable for like half a second and just spits out a big purple cone wave out in front of him. And it does damage. It looks like ghostly smoke energy, whatever. If the enemy is facing the other way, like if their back is turned to Sableye when they get hit with the ultimate, they get damaged and slowed.
Yep.
If they're facing me, they are forced. The game literally locks them out from controlling their character, like they're taunted, like we described, and it forces them to recall back to base.
Never seen anything like it, dude. Never seen anything like that.
I'm gonna ruin people's day with this character.
Dude.
I'm going to ruin people's day with this character.
When you play Sableye, you're gonna have to have that, like, my Unite is ready ping. Because I think if they're recalling and your partner damages them, I think it'll cancel the recall.
So if they take any damage, auto attack, AoE, anything, it'll cancel the recall. So basically you have to like call it. It's going to take coordination, but basically what happens is I hit you and you start to recall and nobody touches you. Guess what? Bye.
See ya. Yeah.
We win the Rayquaza fight because they're at base. Do you not understand the potential here?
Yeah, dude.
You force people back to base?
I think
that is so powerful. Yes, it's not going to be easy to get. It's not like a one hit wonder where you just hit it and it just happens. Yes, it's going to be difficult, but it's like Hoopa. This is massively game changing.
Yeah.
This is insane.
I think
how strong this is.
I think a coordinated team scenario is going to be where it's most important because I see a lot of people talking about Hoopa now, saying that in solo queue, Hoopa is dumpster tier for solo queue because
nobody knows how to do it.
You need that team coordination.
There's no coordination at all.
And he has no team fight presence outside of his ultimate.
Exactly.
And you only get, what, 2 ultimates a game with Hoopa?
If you're lucky, you might get 3, but yeah, it's usually just 2.
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be quite that crazy because on his own, he can do stuff. He can go off and score. He can
That's the thing.
steal farm.
He's an amazing scorer. And he sets up traps with feint attack. So he can ward the bush now.
Yeah, exactly.
We now have a ward, which we've talked about in League of Legends. It's a consumable item you buy at the store.
Yep.
And if it's in your number 1 slot, you click number 1 on your keyboard and you just drop it right there. And then for the next, it's been different timing, but for the next 60 seconds or whatever, it will give you vision of that bush.
Yep.
And then the AoE around it too. But if it's in the bush, it'll let you see in the bush. So if somebody's sitting there waiting, you're just like, yeah, I see you. And Gardevoir Psyshock.
Yeah.
So being able to use those feint attack fake monies in the bush. We now have a sight ward.
Yep. That dude.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
Because now you can set up something like Duraludon with Stealth Rock and the fake monies, and you can set up a legit perimeter defense around a big goal. That could be a really good anti-Rayquaza tech too. I think Sableye is going to be...
You can just put it around the dragon or something.
Put it around the dragon, so if they come in... that's the thing I want to do, is I want to put the fake monies around the dragon pit to get people to run in there that late game. Everyone's Aos energy hungry. Pow, 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 pow! And if you're in Stealth Rock, double slow.
I wonder if
you got Clefable gravity, now they can't dash out and you're trapped, and then you got your 2 nukes in the back. You probably have to have a tank there, but you see what I mean,
do you think if you throw the Aos energy at Rayquaza, it'll do... do you think it'll do tick damage?
It will.
Oh.
Yep.
See, maybe some objective flipping there with a dot damage. That's not a bad idea. But yeah, links in the description for all of those vids, like we said earlier.
Really important stuff. Really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
I guess now we should talk about some of the news for Gen 9. We had a new Pokemon announced.
Yeah, his name
is weird.
His name is Wiglett.
Yeah.
And
this is not what you think it is. Zero.
That's what I'm told. Do I buy it? Not at all.
Yeah, I'll wait to see. We got to see the evolution.
So,
this is they have come out and said, they as in the Pokemon Company, have officially made statements and made official posts and in the video and everything, that Wiglett is not a Paldean regional form of Diglett. He's pure water type.
I disagree.
Yeah, it looks...
It's Diglett.
So apparently, this is a convergent evolution. It's something that happens in the real world, not a Pokemon evolution, like actual real-world science, where a dolphin and a shark is the point that Joey made. Shout out to PokeMD.
He is the doctor, after all. He would know these kinds of things.
Like a dolphin and a shark. They look very similar. They act very similar. They live very similar lives. On paper, they look like they should be cousins, right? But they're not related at all. So it's like that, where basically groups of animals from different places of the world that don't have any genetic link still evolve in similar ways and have similar traits or similar attributes. So basically that's what they're doing here, is they're like, well, yeah, mole Pokemon in this world either look like they have a literal drill on their head, or they look like this little thing with the red nose.
Yeah.
Well, now I guess in Paldea, the worms have evolved because it's basically... it's Sport Ninja looked it up. They're based off a garden eel, I think they said.
Okay.
It's like
I
this
don't
little.
remember.
It's basically like a little eel that pops its head out of the sand, and they look kind of creepy in real life. So it's just pure water type. It's not water ground. We got to see if the evolution is just 3 of these worms, then it's done deal.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not gonna entertain your semantics. It's just a Paldean Diglett. At that point, it will just be Paldean. But right now, they're officially saying this has nothing to do with Diglett. There's no relation. It's not a regional form. They've actually said that verbatim.
I'm not buying it because it's gonna have 3 heads when it evolves. If it
evolves to just be 3 eels out of the ground, then yeah, like get out of here. Convergent, smubsmergent.
Yeah,
like, no.
yeah. Yeah, no,
But if it evolves into something cool, I would love to see it turn into water electric. It'd be like a super gnarly electric. I know we already have an Electros, but that's just pure electric and levitate. So I'd like to see something with lanterns. Because like water electric is because then it would also have ice. Water electric ice is coverage. So I'm looking at it from a competitive perspective. I want something cool. Turn the derp into something cool. I'm in.
I want/think it's going to be think it's going to be ground because it's in the ground.
Yeah, that's
the thing
good call.
lives
So it'll be
in the ground. Yes, and I was just thinking, if this thing is a Paldean Dugtrio, okay, Dugtrio gets Sand Force.
Ooh, gives us a Swift Swim.
So if this thing got something like that, like in Barraskewda doesn't make it into the game, this could be an awesome rain sweeper.
It could be Sand Rush, Sand Force. It could be Swift Swim. There could be a lot of options with water ground like that.
Because Dugtrio hits okay.
Yeah, but he's so squishy.
But he's squished. But so is Barraskewda.
So is Barraskewda.
So I was like, I don't know. He could be like a really cool. If they give him Flip Turn or something like that, he could be a really cool.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to have Flip Turn. Like, how are we going to get that? That was in the Isle of Armor tutor.
I hope they bring it back. Just make it a TM or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. So link down in the description to the official reveal.
Yeah.
It's Wiglett. It's whatever. It's not my favorite, but time will tell.
Yeah, yeah. Watch out for fan art though. And then the last thing I want to talk about, there's a little rumor going around about Intimidate, and I don't know where this stemmed from. I don't know anything. It's probably not even true. It's just a rumor that Intimidate is going to get nerfed.
So that's what the rumor says. So basically, they're talking about for VGC specifically, from what I heard.
Yeah, like it's singles. Okay, so the effect is that
it's -1 attack stage.
That's what it is now. But the rumor is that instead of when Incineroar comes out on the field, he intimidates both Pokemon across from him.
In VGC, yeah.
In VGC. The rumor is he would only intimidate one, not just Incineroar, but like, Gyarados, anyone with Intimidate, him on top.
So they'd only intimidate the person directly in front of them on the doubles field. So again, it'd be 2 versus 2, like this.
Yep.
So he would, if these are the pinkies or is the Intimidate, he'd only do this guy, and this guy over here would be free.
So what are your thoughts on it before I kind of dive into it?
If that's how it works, I just don't think it's necessary. But that's coming from a biased perspective where we've had Dynamax for the past 2 years.
Right.
So in a Dynamax format, when there's so many strong Pokemon with double the amount of HP and boosting moves everywhere, that's the entire meta was boosting moves. Mm-hmm. Strong boosting moves with double the HP on the Poke using it. So I have a very biased opinion because of the entirety of 8th Gen fighting in this meta. Basically. 90% of my 8th Gen matches have involved Dynamaxing. So I don't think it's necessary to give Intimidate more nerfs. I think Intimidate does what it's supposed to do. I think it checks the pokes it's supposed to. It makes you bring a balanced team, just not all physical.
Right.
Because how many times are we building a team like, oh yeah, him. Oh, we need somebody special, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, Incineroar and Landorus are out there, man. We got to keep that in mind.
Because like that should be. I like having checks and balances. Yes. I don't think that's a bad thing. That's a healthy competitive meta to like understand that. Like same thing with like TCG. Oh well, we gotta have this stadium card in case we gotta have Path to the Peaks in case we come up against the Mew matchup.
Yeah, or
do you see what I mean?
Or Or the Arceus V-Star.
I do the same thing in Warhammer.
Yeah.
Like, I have to bring those tanky dragons because of my like the way that the meta works. I know the people that are coming, like,
yeah,
and I need to take a certain ship with a certain gun because I know I need a crap ton of dice because I know that there's going to be ghosts there.
Yeah,
not going into details of why, but the point is, like, I know I like having checks and balances in a competitive meta. I think that that's just more room for skill expression. So I don't know if necessarily it needs a nerf, as long as they don't nerf how much it. As long as it's not some wonky stat where it's like a half stat.
Yeah, which they've never done anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I don't want. If it's just, okay, you can't intimidate both pokes. I mean, the point is, especially without a Dynamax meta, is like, I'll learn to work around it. As long as it's still just one stage low, the math doesn't change, I can work around the mechanical issue. I won't necessarily love it. It wouldn't be, if I was king for a day, it wouldn't be the decision I would make. I think it's fine where it's at right now. But I'm really kind of curious to see what the audience and you and everybody has to say, because it's an interesting topic. Again, it is rumor. But
it's rumor, but I really want to talk about it.
It's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, so, I want to talk about it because I want to... if you are on the Intimidate Nerf train, I want to change your mind right now. That's why I want to do this. I think it's a bad Nerf. Mm-hmm. Overall, it's bad for the game. A lot of people don't like Incineroar because he can come in and intimidate, and then they gave him Parting Shot, so then he's got Intimidate, and then he can pivot out while also lowering your attack again, and then he can come back in the next turn.
Yeah, it's really good.
Even the same turn.
It's really good. So you know what you do? You pack an answer for Incineroar somewhere in your squad.
But here's the thing.
You have 6 Pokemon. You're only bringing 4. You have a bench.
But it's not even about Incineroar, okay? Like,
no.
If you want to hate that, that's fine, because you can get 3 attack drops on somebody in 2 turns if you play your cards right.
Which I've used.
Which, that's pretty impressive. Whatever. But it's not about that in itself.
Fake out.
What it's about is damage reduction is necessary in the state of the game right now because
Dynamax.
No, because we're losing Dynamax in Gen 9.
Oh, yeah.
So, you are going to be eating... Okay.
We're not going to have that...
It's because of power creep.
We're not going to have that HP buff.
You won't have the HP buff. So, do you really want to... It's going to get... Gen 9 will go to restricted Pokemon at some point eventually in the VGC format. It's
knock on wood,
happen.
We have at least a year.
We should. But even without that, okay, let's think about some Pokemon here.
And the Terror form, the Terrorize, is not gonna...
No, that's not gonna save you.
It's not gonna be enough.
So let's just think here for a second, okay? We need damage reduction because Pokemon are getting stronger. Just in the Legendary pool, you've got things like Zacian. You've got... who gets a +1 when he just walks into the field. You've got Kyurem Black, 170 base attack. You've got... Rayquaza, 150 base attack.
Yeah.
There's Groudon. There's so many things that hit so hard, especially in a restricted format, and you won't have the Dynamax cushion ever again.
The cushion, that's a good way to put it.
You won't have that cushion of Dynamax.
You're just going to eat it and die.
You need Intimidate.
You need to have Intimidate to keep some of these Pokemon in check. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think that was really well said, really well spoken. I couldn't agree more. I think it's fine as is. I do not think they need to touch it. I hope they don't touch it at all. But if they are, in my mind, I guess, as long as you don't touch the math.
Yeah.
Don't make me relearn. Don't add like a new step where it's like a half of a drop or some weird stuff. Just keep it. Intimidate's fine how it is.
I think even if you take restricted Pokemon out of the equation, you're still going to have big problems because Tyranitar's 134 base attack, Scizor 130.
Yeah, what if a Garchomp sets up a Swords Dance and a substitute with Scale Shot and Earthquake?
What if he sweeps your whole team? We've seen it happen on this channel.
Yeah, like, it's just...
things hit so hard. Yeah. Like Urshifu's.
I'm so excited for Gen 9 because not having Dynamax is going to be a whole new world, but it's like we've been training with, like, Rock Lee weights on our legs, and now we can take them off and we're just going to punk everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but, like, we're going to punk a lot more than what our fair share.
Hopefully.
Just because...
Unless that singles ladder is lit.
I just feel like we're just a step ahead because we've been prepping so hard, which is sort of the topic of today. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. If you notice, we are remote now. Justin, say hello.
Hey, so couple of things happened. So we decided to adapt, like we always talk about in our Unite videos.
We're adapting, like a crawdon.
So Zero, what happened?
So we had a topic planned out, and then we saw that news of a trailer was going to drop for Thursday morning. Okay, so we usually record podcasts on Wednesdays, and we said, why don't we hold off in case there is some bombshell drops in this trailer? We didn't expect that.
There's quite a bit of news.
There is, yeah, like there's. I feel like not much of it was a bombshell, but there was a lot of information. I expected a 2 to 3 minute video, and we got a 15-minute video.
Yep.
Yeah, with lots of new things. So we're going to talk about that because there is a lot to talk about. So we're going to go over a lot of what we saw and a lot of our opinions on things. And first, we're going to talk about some new confirmed Pokemon. Justin, any of these catching your eye? Should we list them all off?
We can if you want, but basically there's quite a few here that we already have. Basically, it's not all from this trailer. It's just all together. But yeah, we got quite a few, some favorites here. So obviously Arcanine's up there. We did see Umbreon, which basically means that unless they do something never done before in history, all the evolutions are in. That's confirmation on all of those. We saw like Venonat, which confirms Venomoth. We saw Snorunt and Glalie, which confirms Frostlass. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
we saw confirm Scizor.
So, yes, Scizor. Sweet. Hopefully he'll be better than his Unite version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not looking too good right now.
Okay, so I'll list them off. We don't have to. There's so many here that we're not going to talk about every single one.
No.
But I will.
Of who's getting in so far, because we're competitive players, so we're starting like, all right, these guys made the cut.
Yeah, this is
teams. We can start.
It's important stuff. We got Hariyama, Venomoth, Gardevoir, Hatterene, Staraptor, Lucario, Toxapex, that was confirmed earlier, Slowbro, Corviknight, Chansey and Blissey, Sableye, Glalie, Frostlass, Medicham, Scizor, Wigglytuff, Pyroar, Arcanine, Torkoal, Toxtricity, Umbreon, Greedent, Altaria, Goodra, Cloysters. So, like I said, some of those were confirmed earlier. Most of that list. I'm sorry, what's that?
And then one more, which is obviously
Girafarig, yeah. So that is the one we're going to spend some time on. However, I do want to say, stall players are living their best life so far with confirmed returns of Toxapex, Slowbro, Corviknight, and Chansey Blissey. That's 4 of your bastard core.
Premier OU. And we have Staraptor. So this is, depending on how big the roster gets, if they keep it a little bit more concise, like a BDSP meta, I think that would make a lot of sense, especially because Terra types are RNG, which we'll get into. So, you know what I mean, in terms of getting the right Terra type on your poke.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, we'll get into that later. But, like, maybe having a little bit more of a concise, tight, lockdown meta is going to be really fun, because BDSP is one of the greatest things we've ever done in our lives competitively. We had so much fun in that meta.
So as far as Terra types goes, there's so much to talk about with Terra types. We're going to do a whole video on them. Like because
it's like, it's Dynamax, it's Mega Evolution, it's Zemu, it's the new gimmick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it deserves its own thing. So today we're not going to go too deep, but what we are going to talk about is something really exciting. We had a brand new reveal today in the thing. We had a brand new evolution revealed, and I, for one, am repping the brand, so I got the hood up.
Sorry, bro. Hold on.
That's why I got the hood up.
All
because
right.
We have, I think you'll be pulling it up on screen right now, right?
Yep, right now. Just got them up on screen.
For Rigoraph. So just like Girafarig is, you spell it backwards, it's still Girafarig. This is the same thing for Rigoraph. They just flipped around the F's and the G's. This evolution looks great. It's a big, tall giraffe, the way it's supposed to be. It's not a little pony. And then he's got the emo hood up. I was hoping maybe we get Dark Psychic, but unfortunately, Zero, what do we got? It's not unfortunate, but just because I was hyped.
Yeah, we got normal Psychic, so the same as its Girafarig regular pre-evolution.
Yeah.
I do like the design. So Justin,
love it.
when I first saw it, like literally he evolved, and I was like, "What did they do to my boy?" But it did not take me long to be like, "Okay, I'm kind of into this."
I just like the fact that it's big. Like it's like the difference between Donphan and Caparajah.
Yes.
Like elephants are huge. Give us a big old elephant. I love Donphan, but
Yeah, same.
he's tiny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really hyped. So we also have confirmation there are 2 new abilities.
Yes, and they're both pretty dang good. So hopefully he'll have the stats to back up these abilities. So the first one I think is going to be a lot more relevant in singles. But however, we need to see some stats. Like if this is a tanky Pokemon, we got Cud Chew. Whatever berry you're holding, you'll eat it once, right? Once it's activated, and then at the end of the turn, he'll eat it again. Now, end of the turn is important because in VGC you might potentially get hit twice, right?
Yeah.
So, say you got 2 citrus berries or whatever. So in
you
VGC,
get hit once, and then you get hit a second time. Citrus berry activates, you heal up, and at the end of the turn you heal up again, and now you just reflect all that damage back. Depending on his stats, we don't know if he's tanky or squishy, but you can do the same thing with offensive berries like pinch berries.
Yeah. So like double citrus or whatever it may be. I think it's a really cool ability, and I do think it could potentially put this Pokemon up pretty high in tiers because it'll be kind of predictable in singles, knowing like what berry, but I do think it's a great ability, something we've never seen before.
Yeah, speaking of which, we do have something else that could potentially be like super unique. We're not sure about the word. The wording is a little bit subjective here, so we got to wait to actually see the official, title in the game and work it out in game to see all the detail, all the ins and outs. But basically called Armor Tail, and it's kind of like Queenly Majesty ? So it says that it shuts off priority moves.
Yeah, and it says it shuts off opponents' priority moves. The one thing that is unconfirmed with this is it priority moves targeting you and your ally Pokemon in VGC, or is it just priority moves targeting Girafarig and VGC, or Farigiraf, pardon me, in VGC? Are you protecting your whole side like Queenly Majesty does, or are you only protecting yourself?
Is it for yourself?
Yeah.
Like we talked about with the Intimidate rumors, maybe that is a thing they're trying to nerf field-wide effects, ? That's where this comes from, like we talked about in the news section.
Potentially, yeah. So we'll move on to the next thing. We've got some new Pokemon who are confirmed. So these Pokemon, we don't know anything about them other than we have their adorable little sprites. So we've got
sprites on the map, and we're not really sure why they're on the map. We've done some research. It doesn't look like it's wild pokes because, the character walks up to a Venonat, fights it, and then after the Venonat, the Girafarig evolves to Farigiraf. So, and then that, after had being seen that Pokemon and battled the Venonat, even though he didn't catch him, it still wasn't on the mini-map.
Mm-hmm.
So not real, and it doesn't. The Jigglypuff that's shining that they show off in the trailer, that doesn't show up on the mini-map. So the Litleo, maybe it was a first encounter, but those other two, again, he fought the Venonat. So we're not really sure why they're on the mini map, but what we do have is kind of cool. First, I want to shout out. There's somebody hiding in the back there. What's that little blue thing?
Oh, that's that would be Rookity. That would be Rookity.
Yep. So that is what we mentioned earlier. Corviknight confirmed. This is the confirmation of that. If we haven't had one already, so super cool. And then we have two little bear mouse kind of looking things, but they've got different patterns on them.
Yeah, I'm thinking, bro. Okay, hear me out here. Paldean Spinda. They got different little patterns on their bellies.
Not where I thought you were going. I thought we were going maybe an Indeedee, male and female.
That's also not bad. That's also
Okay.
not bad. But I'm thinking Paldean Spinda, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's super sick. Let's go.
Yeah.
We got a. Oh, I'm so happy. We got a parrot, a nice green parrot. Let's go. I don't know what it is, but I'm hyped.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful so far.
It looks like dude. There's a parrot that looks just like this in like all the old school Disney movies.
Yeah.
Remember? I don't know his name, but it was like there's like a whole
awesome.
movie about birds. Like,
oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
It was like super old, and they like play music or something like that. He looks just like that parrot. I'm gonna find out his name, and then I'm gonna name him that.
And then, yeah, homeboy down at the bottom, like nice little cinder block thing with like some mud or a rock in between. So maybe rock and ground or steel and rock, steel and ground. I don't know, but it looks like the cinder block, and then like where the holes are or his eyes. I like it.
I'm excited to see that.
It'll evolve into something dope.
Yeah. I kind of like if that's the base form. I like the design, so I'm hoping that evolves into something
cool,
like equally as cool. Yeah, I'm hyped for it.
Yep, that's cool. So we also got another new move confirmed in the game. So basically, you get to see. She walks us through the thing, and our little hostess for the video, and we fight like a gym leader, right? We fight the Sudowoodo we've already seen, the grass gym leader who has a Sudowoodo.
Yeah, the grass gym leader with a Sudowoodo. Okay, so yeah, hey, new rule for monotypes. You can bring whatever Pokemon you want as long as it's got a Psychic Terra type. Like you bring a Psychic team, you have to Terra type it.
Psychic Terra type. Terrible. So yeah, obviously he grass Terra types for the grass gym, so that's why I guess the loophole, because they're trying to show off the new mechanic, right?
They're cheating ultimately, but whatever.
But then he uses a new move, and it's called Trailblaze, and it hits for a little bit of damage. Not a lot, considering you just have the tiny little cream puff Pokemon. But then his move speed increases. So Brandon made a good shout out.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a grass type flame charge.
Yeah, so we've already seen like Flip Turn is a water type U-turn. So maybe, they've done this multiple times before. Wild Charge is just an electric type flame charge, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So having a, Trailblaze, I'm super excited. Grass type flame charge. So depending on who gets this move, that could be literally like tier shifting, game changing for certain mons.
I was gonna ask, who do you think would be like a good grass type to get? I mean, what kind of grass types do you think would be good to get Trailblaze?
I would really like to play in a world where there's a fly in my house. I'd really like to play in a world with Rillaboom with Trailblaze.
I figured that would be your first pick. Would be Rillaboom.
Imagine a set with like AV. And then you have Trailblaze. Maybe get rid of Fake Out, so you do double grass, Trailblaze, and then Grassy Glide.
Yeah.
And then, just because priority is just so good, right? But maybe if they have their new, Armor Tail Giraffe out, you can't use Grassy Glide.
Go Woodhammer.
You could have Woodhammer.
So you could go You could go.
My point, you use the Grassy, what's it called? Trailblaze?
Yeah, Trailblaze.
Use Trailblaze Rillaboom. That could also pair up in VGC with somebody with coaching. So you're getting bulk ups. I think he actually gets bulk ups. You could run bulk up Trailblaze.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, Rillaboom's a hot pick for me because, Sceptile doesn't need it.
I think Serena would be a good pick for it.
Oh, because she's got 90 speed?
Yeah.
92?
It might be lower. It might actually be lower. It legit might be 70 or something. Let me check while we chit chat.
But yeah, Serena with a speed boost there, give her just +1 speed, boom, you're there. We just made a Rayquaza video where +1 speed made the difference in the whole meta.
Yeah, because Serena in VGC is actually a really good pick because it has Queenly Majesty. When we had no Dynamax formats, so Spike Moose Cup. And when we had series, what was it, 10 or 11, when there was no Dynamax?
Yeah.
She was really, really good and very prominent in both of those metas. Hold on, I'm pulling up Serena's speed. I think it's 72. That 70 range sounded... But you got 120 attacks. You can go Adamant plus Trailblaze.
Plus Trailblaze. That's really, really, really good. Yeah, that's a great shout. Another interesting poke. There's so many we could go through, but it's like we saw Sudowoodo. So there's Pokemon that aren't grass that could get this.
Yeah, I bet a lot of like rock and ground Pokemon might get this.
Might get Trailblaze, and then now that gives imagine. Here's what I'm thinking of. Imagine Rhinox.
Oh, bro, that would be pretty sick.
Sorry for people at home. Rhyperior.
Yeah, max speed.
If Rhyperior has the ability to have grass coverage while also a buff, that's the thing is it's not just the fact that it's +1 speed. You get grass coverage on Pokemon that before never had that option outside of Solar Beam, but you're never going to do that, obviously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where my mind goes to is the Pokemon that aren't grass type that can utilize this.
Excadrill?
Oh, yeah.
Excadrill?
Grass coverage on Excadrill would be so good.
I mean,
so good.
I feel like he'd be a trailblazing kind of Pokemon, right?
Yeah. Maybe if Trailblaze is again, you're thinking these Pokemon that are trying to up their speed. Like Sudowoodo is super slow, so it's not a stat thing.
No.
But I guess Pokemon that have to do with the woods or have to do with nature, I guess.
I think a lot of rock and ground type Pokemon are going to get this, especially ground type Pokemon. I think a lot of ground type Pokemon are going to get this.
Yep, okay. Ooh, another great one that just came up. You said ground, grass, Torterra.
Torterra, yeah. He'd be perfect.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. You could Trailblaze, Wood Hammer, Earthquake, Stone Edge. Yeah.
There you go. And
we're giving away the tech. We're giving away all of our tech to people before the Pokemon even come out, man.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds great. My last shout out here would be Goodra. Goodra's confirmed in the game. Goodra with Trailblaze, giving him grass coverage on my, spoiler alert, my Goodra set, my Gumdrop is physical attacking, and it's got Assault Vest, and it's got Sap Sipper, so I come in on the grass type attacks. But just for raw coverage of sweeping, and potentially if you even do grass Terra type.
Yeah. But would you give up the Power Whip for Trailblaze?
Well, that's what I'm saying is he has the Power Whip, but you could miss. We don't have Dynamax anymore. That's
True.
not going to be so we can't just auto max
Overgrowth. Yeah.
Back Overgrowth, right? Yeah. So you actually have to hit the Power Whip. I'll trade the damage to give my Goodra speed buff while still being Assault Vest, super tanky. Do you see what I mean? So I'm trading. I think it might be worth the trade at least on paper. Obviously, knock on wood that he even gets Trailblaze.
Right.
But yeah, Power Whip is obviously great. But now we're in a world where you have to hit him.
Exactly. True. That's true, man. Dude, no Dynamax is gonna be crazy, dude.
We just did Zarude.
Yeah.
In Gen 9, you might be seeing me run Seed Bomb instead.
Yeah. I had Power Whip on him, right?
You did. We had Power Whip.
Yeah, I play kind of balls to the wall though. I'm a little wild though.
Nerf versus Hydro Pump, Blizzard versus etc.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. We have the TM machines. This is pretty interesting.
Speaking of all these TM moves that we were just talking about.
Yeah, so we've got a TM machine. So it looks like some sort of pseudo crafting. Yeah.
TM crafting.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited for it, actually. I am and I'm not. So hopefully the cost of these things is cheap because, we need so many TMs for certain things. It was really, how many close combats do you need? A lot. A
lot. You need a lot of Thunderbolts, a lot of Flamethrowers.
Ice Beams.
Protect.
Things like that. Oh, Protect. Yeah, there's another one. So we have not had any sort of confirmation of we had TRs and TMs in the last game.
Yeah,
no confirmation of that so far.
But there is a crafting mechanic, so it looks like we'll just be able to, again, presumably just be able to go grab what we need and make what we need.
Yes.
Oh, if it's anything like any other currency in Pokemon games, mid and late game, we're not worried about currency. We just go buy things.
Yeah. So it's going to require materials. And then it's also, yep, like you said, it's going to require LP, which is something that you get as you progress through the story.
You don't know what it stands for yet. It's an acronym.
So you had a good one, lesson points or something like that. What you said?
Points, because like it's like a school thing.
Yeah, I do like that, like school world that they're building. I mean, like it's worked for Naruto and it's worked for My Hero Academia. Why couldn't it work for Pokemon? You're a Pokemon trainer in a school. I like it.
Something else that I'm really excited about, they are putting in a lot of little details that are quality of life changes.
Yeah. Yep.
And it might seem small, but it will make a huge impact throughout the game. Just the whole game experience in general. Because, like, let's face it, there is a bit of copy-paste to these games. It's Pokemon. We're still doing the same thing now that we did when we were 5.
Mm-hmm.
We're still playing through the game and going through the gyms and stuff like that, right? There's not a whole lot different in terms of the overall gameplay. And it's kind of always been that way. So one of the quality of life change things that we have actually talked about, I don't know if we did it on camera, but definitely off camera, you had mentioned, and we've all talked about ad nauseum, is like, are we going to have to go to some dude to check our Terra type? And no.
Nope.
They just gave it to us.
Yep.
And I'm so happy. It might seem small, but it's such a big difference.
It is. So I've got it pulled up right here on the screen. So
plain and simple, right out in the open. You don't have to go check to a second person. You don't have to go to your PC. You don't have to do... No, it just tells you, this is what your Terra type is, this is what your normal type is. Boom, you're done. Yeah. Sorry, regular typing versus Terra typing.
Yeah, no, this is really good because we had kind of talked about, like, oh, we're going to have to go talk to, like, some NPC to figure out what our Terra type is, and then you got to, like, take notes. I think I mentioned that. Like, you're going to have to literally take, like, a piece of paper. Like, you're going to have to make a notebook of all your Terra types and stuff like that. But
nothing.
The game said, no, we got you. We are just...
But it's quality of life change that could make the biggest difference. Another quality of life change that they added, Zero, I'll let you take this one, but it's the Let's Go command.
Yeah, so we've got the Let's Go command, and it does a couple different things that we know of so far. Just there might be more to this as well. So there's the Let's Go command, and it basically... They show off the dude's got a Quaxley, and he hits the Let's Go command towards a Litleo, and
in the overworld.
In the overworld, yep. And then the Quaxley just goes and attacks the wild Litleo and battles for you. You don't actually have to
it just goes over there, pow, 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 boom, done. And then his HP bar drops instantly. And so basically, it just does all the grinding.
Yeah.
So if we have to grind for experience or anything like that, it's not going to be an issue anymore.
Yeah.
Because you could just pop, which we show off when we go. We'll talk about this in the branching storyline. When he goes into the team, what is it, Team Star?
Yeah.
When he goes into there and there's Growlithe, you don't have to battle all those grunts. You just do Let's Go command if you want to. It looks like there's an option. You can either battle them or use the Let's Go command.
Yep.
So if you want to just rush through and get it done, you can. But if you want to play it like traditional, you can. I love it because it reminds me of when Fire Emblem Three Houses came out, Zero.
Yeah.
There was for you, someone who's never played a Fire Emblem game in their life, to play on whatever mode you felt comfortable with. I don't remember exactly what your specifics were, but like
I played on normal mode.
But you had the casual setting where if someone died, they weren't dead permanently.
I never would have finished the game if my characters were permadeath. I never would have finished the game. I'm not a Fire Emblem goat like you. I can't play on hardcore mode.
That's what I played on the hardest setting, and I was on classic mode. So it was the hardest mode in the game, and it's permadeath. So normally, because that's how traditional, that's how I play, because that's how all the games were growing up.
Yep.
And that's where I first started playing was on the Game Boy Advance, right? So like, there was no option back then. That's a very new feature in the 3DS world, where they gave you the option to, like, even Ike's games on the GameCube and the Wii, respectively, those games didn't have that option either.
Yeah.
If your character died, they just died. So it's a very, very recent from the 3DS world, recent feature from those games, like Awakening and stuff like that. So like for Smash Bros. Fans, like Chrom, Lucina, or
Corrin.
Conquest for Corrin.
Yep.
Exactly. So it's a very new feature to those games. Sorry, long story short, it's a new feature to those games to be able to go through them with like this permadeath option instead of it just being always permadeath.
Yeah.
So, but for somebody like me, I could play the way I want, and then you could play the way you want, and we both got a great experience out of that game. This is now where Pokemon is leading, and it's just more user-friendly category of adjustments or additions to the game. It's not even adjustments; it's new. It's brand new mechanics. So it's I like the trajectory because they're understanding. It seems that they understand a little bit of where some of their criticism was coming from, or their weak spots maybe in previous generations. It looks like they're starting to shore those up.
And they kind of did this beautifully by introducing this mechanic. So they softly introduced this mechanic in Arceus. You still have to go through the, so when a battle in Legends Arceus is super fast because you throw the Pokeball so you choose what Pokemon you want. So say I want to start a battle with my Samurott, I can scroll through the Pokemon in my Pokeballs. So I'm like, okay, I want to start the battle with my Samurott, but right now I'm on my Ghastly or whatever. Then I could just scroll to the Pokeball that has Samurott in it, throw that ball, and then the battle starts.
Okay, cool.
And
yeah.
And the animations are super quick. Yeah.
Maybe that's in this game from some of the footage we've seen.
Yeah, and the battles are super quick, so you can grind through a field of enemies, and this is even faster. This is even faster than that.
Yeah, so this is like literally 5 seconds per battle.
Exactly.
Literally 5 seconds.
If a battle in Arceus maybe takes 10 to 15 seconds if you're, just grinding. This is even faster than that, and it's a great addition to the game, in my opinion, because it doesn't take away from you exploring the world. You don't get thrown into a slow battle, and then you come out of the battle. And have you ever had this where you're like exploring?
What was it?
Exactly. So that's you don't have that anymore. That like
you get the option to play more open world, and again, I gotta shout it out, bro. I've been calling for this since I was like 12 years old. And we're getting another step closer. Arceus was one step. Now this is another step up the ladder in that same category. Because my dream, I want to battle as my Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to... I like the turn-based. I don't want that to go away, but I also want a game where I can play, like, parallel. I want to play as my Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I want to... If you shoot a Thunderbolt, like the anime, dodge it, Pikachu. It's like, wait a minute, that's 100% accuracy. How are you dodging that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know if we'll ever get there, bro, but
I think so. Eventually we're gonna have it. We're gonna have my dream. So like I can just it's gonna be Kanto. But
yeah.
I like Arcanine.
Me too. He's gonna be in this game. But yeah, it can also the Let's Go command, so you could start battles with the Let's Go command. And so basically they'll also grab items for you.
Never leave the overworld.
You can send your Pokemon to go grab an item.
Yep.
So
cool.
Yeah. So I like it.
That'll be great for our footage when we do like guides and stuff for just extra footage padding.
Yeah. Here's Quaxley going and grabbing me pieces for my sandwich, like a good little duck. Yeah. Yeah. So moving on, we've got Titan Pokemon. They look like wild bosses. They showed off a giant Cloth.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like how Cloth normally is sized, or if that's just like a special raid boss version, which is just a big one.
I'm going to guess that Cloth is not normally that big. I'm going to guess that Cloth is actually like way small. But I think we're going to see a lot of these types of Pokemon throughout the game, kind of gatekeeping special areas or secret areas or...
Yeah, shout out to Sport Ninja. He had mentioned he thinks that it seems like a raid boss.
Yeah, so I think like... Okay, say you want to get into the Team Star base or whatever. Maybe there's a giant Magcargo outside the base, and you have to fight that just to get in or something like that. Like, I think that's what's going to happen. You're going to see a lot of Pokemon they're just going to turn a giant for raid bosses to kind of keep you out of certain places or certain objectives or whatever. That's my guess.
Yeah, well, I like it. Here's something that we are fans of the channel will know is going to be huge for us. We don't even have to. You already know. Profile pictures.
Profile pictures. Okay, the aesthetics are everything. Everything.
This is so hype. So obviously they did show up. I'll shout out again to my buddy Sport Ninja. He is a huge fan of the costume changes that they had and all the different aesthetic changes that they had available in Generation 8 and Galar, Sword and Shield. So he really liked, all the different. He had everything. He had every pair of socks. That was one of he wanted to be because he changed his outfit all the time. Every time we battled him, he was looking different.
Yep.
Every hairdo, everything. So he really liked that level of customization a lot. That was one of his highlights of Gen 8, right?
Yeah.
So big shout out there is that they showed off a different but similarly user-friendly system for this too. Lots of different hairstyles, lots of hair colors, lots of facial, lots.
Change
All the
eye colors, eyelashes, things like that.
It's you can really customize your trainer. And I know he's going to be over the moon thrilled for that. So that's a great addition. I love seeing that type of stuff in here. So not only can you customize your trainer to look like you or look however you want, right? You then can take profile pictures with your Pokemon and they pose. Let's go.
So who are you going to pose with for your profile picture? You got any ideas?
Either if he's in the game, Trico.
Trico, okay.
Or Sceptile or Grovyle, it doesn't matter. Maybe one of in a perfect world I'd have one of each.
I'm going to be cheesing it up. I'm going to be cheesing it up with Mewtwo, dude. Just me and Mewtwo. I'm going to have my arm around Mewtwo like this,
Oh, God.
Gross. Yeah, dude. And he's
throwing it out.
And he's going to be throwing up the peace signs. Yeah, dude.
We're charging up a Shadow Ball.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, what's up? Yeah, it's going to be magic.
Yeah, so in the trailer, it shows the person doing a selfie, and he does a little peace sign in the back. The Sprigatito, he waits for the Sprigatito to do a cute little face, and then snaps the picture. So you can get one with the eyes open, looking up, licking his paw, and then he sort of closes his eyes, and that's the one So there's multiple different poses that they'll do.
Yeah.
So we are obviously big into trainer cards.
Yes.
Right? Both in Unite and in regular pokes. We always talk about that. That's one of our fun little jokey things in all of our videos since day one is we always, oh, come on, man, put some more work. That's like a 2 out of 10. Oh, 10 out of 10 trainer card.
Yeah, you can't stand those trainer cards where they didn't change the default guy.
Yeah, default guy, default background, default pose. Come on now.
Yeah.
So, 10 out of 10. This is great.
Yeah. And then I think one of the last things is it looks like we're going to have branching storylines, kind of, because it's an open world game. So you'll have things that you need to accomplish, like branching storylines, like taking basically on the 8 gyms.
3 big missions, and inside there'll be a bunch of little mini missions.
Yeah. So you need to beat all the gyms, right? That's one of your storylines.
The storyline of just beating all 8 gyms, the traditional Pokemon.
Beating Team Star. Beating Team Star. That's another one.
Oh, Team Rocket.
Right.
Team Aqua, Team Magma.
Yep. And then the last one is Treasure Hunt, which I think is your school-based mission. I think,
which is that's where you're going to a bunch of, they're going to tell you, to go do a certain task. It could be literally anything. It could be go find me X amount of potions, and you just got to go find all the little, whether it's a gleam spot from Gen 8 or an actual Pokeball, and you hit it, whatever they look like in this game. You get my point. You know what I mean? Go pick up all these, go pick up all this, insert MacGuffin item here, right? Once you get 20, then you complete the mission. It could be battles. It could be exploring. It could be go catch this Pokemon or go defeat this Cloth raid battle. It could be anything.
Yeah. I'm hoping that they have just side quests too. Honestly, I can't believe Pokemon doesn't have that already.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. That's a really good way to say that. The treasure hunt looks like it's going to be all the different side quest stuff.
Yeah, because that'd be a really cool way to get TRs or TMs or items that you need. Because
Yeah, maybe that's where you find like your heavy duty boots or your life orb or whatever.
Right, because it just adds more to your overall. That $60 you spent to play the game, it just adds more. I think. Like, oh, you want the DNA splicers for your Kyurem White? Well, you've got to do a side quest for them instead of them just handing it to you, which was nice in Gen 8 competitively. But like, now I'm getting more out of the game if they make me earn a few more things. Like they're making.
Our complaint was that Gen 8 gameplay was just another rote, boring Pokemon, and you just blah. And I'm all right. I finished. All right, now competitive. Let's go. And that, thousands of hours. Like but the raid battles was awesome.
I kind of think
highlight, and the fact that the raid battles are back here, they do show more of that. There's now 3 new cheers, which is really awesome. You can now cheer your Pokemon on and it boosts their offenses, cheer their Pokemon on and boost their defenses, or cheer your Pokemon on to heal them up and give them help. So that's really cool. That was a mechanic that was RNG in Gen 8, and now we have control over it. I love it. That's a great another user-friendly like quality of life change.
Yeah.
Ending on what was a decent idea, and they made it great.
Yep. So I think that kind of covers everything, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much everything from the trailer. It's a great trailer. Obviously, go watch it for yourself. We're not going to watch it here. We're not going to get demonetized. So, but yeah, it was a great trailer. It was a lot more than what I expected. Still no starter Evos yet, but they're probably holding.
Yeah. We'll get them soon, though. We'll get them soon.
We are getting them soon. We are in October. Like today is October 6th. So we're getting in there to where any day now, it could be a couple weeks, but any day now they could be dropping all sorts of bombs. So stay tuned to the PMC. We upload all the time on our YouTube channel. We do have some content that's our extracurricular, Spotify only, as well as here doing the podcast, which is both on YouTube as a video. Listening to us audio only to the podcast. Make sure you take a sip of water while you're out during the day. Stay hydrated. Yeah, Brandon's got his coffee. I'm super excited for Gen 9. I think maybe our next podcast topic might be Gen 9 prep, which is what we're going to do today. So what are we going to do there? We'll give them a little teaser.
Just kind of as Pokemon get revealed, we'll talk about prepping those Pokemon and other things you can do, especially on a competitive level, to get yourself geared up, especially, now that we're going to lose some of our staple mechanics and things like that. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about how we're going to prep for Gen 9 and how you can as well. Yeah,
like a really good shout-out would be, like, for instance, we got confirmed that Arcanine's in the game. I love Arcanine's in one of my top 10, so now I'm looking at, we already mentioned earlier, Goodra and Corviknight and things like this, so, like, Brandon loves Corviknight. He's got like 12 different sets on Corviknight. All of those he can start getting ready. And, we don't know how the transfer is going to work and when and blah, blah, blah. We're not worried about that right now. If we can't transfer him from home day one, it's not going to break our hearts.
No, we got to play the game.
But it's still hype to get these things ready for competitive. And, we don't know what terror type these Pokemon will have once they get into the game. Is it just going to be randomly assigned to them? So that might shoot us in the foot, but we don't care about that.
Yep.
Because as long as the tools still exist to make competitive Pokemon even remotely similar to the way that we did in 8th, 9th won't be that big of a deal to just like breed a new one.
Right.
Or go catch a new one or make a new one, right?
Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're going to take off now. We got tons of Gen 9 talking. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will catch you on the next one. Until then, I've been Zero.
And I'm Justin.
Council's adjourned.